and welcome to the Direct Selling Success Podcast. I'm Anna Green and I'm here to share with you tips, tricks and training on network marketing done right. Thank you for listening. I am so excited to have Amanda here. Me and Amanda have been planning this live for some time now, haven't we? We've had it in the diary for some time. It's so great to talk to you, Amanda. So great.
Thanks for having me.
So where did we meet? Was it one of the networking groups?
Yeah, it was one of the networking groups, yes.
Yeah, one of the mums in business style networking groups. Yeah, and now you run your own.
Yes.
Very exciting, very exciting. So we are here today to have a chat about everything Amanda wants to talk to us about her Random Panda. I don't know if you can see on the name on her screen, whether you know about Random Panda or not. And we're going to have a chat about Amanda's journey through direct selling and network marketing into what she does now. And hopefully you're going to get loads of hints and tips off her, hear her story. And yeah, let's have a chat. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself to start with?
Yes, I can do. So yeah, my name is Amanda Alcock and I was in direct sales for just over 12 years with the Body Shop at Home. So yeah, gosh, going right back to 2011 when I first joined, I was at a party. And the lady who was running the party was talking about the opportunity. And at that time, I worked full-time as a newspaper reporter.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
Oh, really?
No, I did not know
that. So, yeah, I worked full-time, but something I just saw the opportunity. And at the time, I've just recently got engaged. I was planning a wedding, wanted to save a bit more money, but didn't want to cut back on everything. So I thought, could I fit something else in and earn a little bit of money? So, and then this opportunity presented itself to me and I thought, it's a sign. It didn't really feel like it was going to be for me. I don't know, when I first started it, I thought, I don't think I'll be very good at it. I think I'll give it maybe 6 months and see how it goes, and that'll probably be it. I'll just give it a try. It'll be a short term thing. And I think a lot of people, when they start out in the industry, have similar thoughts of, is it going to be for them?
Is it going to be for them, or this is just to cover me over or tide me over? You know, I'll just do it for this long and see how it goes, or I might just do it for the products, do it for myself, earn a little bit of cash. Yeah. I remember it well.
So that's how I started in the business, and I did a few parties and I really enjoyed it, and then I booked more parties from those parties and was earning quite a nice little extra from it, and couldn't believe that I was going out sharing the opportunity, sharing the products, and you know, for a couple of hours earning a really good sideline income, much more than I could earn doing, you know, working in a pub on an hourly rate or something. And yeah, so it fitted in really well and I loved it. And then it was probably, I was going to do it for 6 months, but then after 6 months I still got bookings in my diary, so I thought, well, I'll carry it on a little bit. And then I had a chat with one of my upline managers who said, do you think about building a team? You know, you're a good seller. And my sort of first reaction was, well, I don't really want to recruit my friends and my customers, because if I recruit my friends and my customers, I won't have anyone to sell to. So how, you know, that to me was my sort of initial mindset as well. But then when I looked more into the compensation plan, I could see that actually the smart way to earn money would be to show people how to do it and to introduce them to the business and show them how to do what you do. And that worked really well for me because I always had parties in my diary, so I could take people along. They would shadow what I would do, they would go off and do it themselves, and it worked really well. Obviously this was back in sort of 2011 2012, before the huge growth of social media sales, but
very different time.
So yeah, I thought, well, I'll give it a go, and I built a little team, and that was really good. And then I went to a conference, the first conference, and they announced this trip to Thailand.
Wow.
Wow, that was exactly my reaction. But I left the conference feeling like I could walk on water, and I just was like, I'm going. So I literally went into work on the Monday and I said, I need to book this week off. And they said, oh, why are you going anywhere? And I said, well, I'm going to go on the Body Shop trip. And they all thought I'd lost the plot. Uh, and looking back, I think I was
Oh,
like, you know, and it's funny, isn't it? Because we talk about having the goals and putting the things in place
yeah.
and really, but I visualized it so much. I was like, well, I'm not winning this trip and not having the time off. So I'm getting that booked
Booking
in.
it in. It was already won, wasn't it?
So
You'd already achieved that trip in your
absolutely.
head. I
And I
love
mean,
that.
obviously I was working full time at the time. So it was an ask to do that because I was doing a lot of parties and trying to train people and trying to do that. But I did achieve the trip, which was a real sort of turning point in my business journey because I went on this trip and I was surrounded by all these other fantastic, amazing, inspiring ladies, and a lot of them did it as a full-time business. And I think that's when the sort of the penny dropped that I thought, I'm actually good at this. And there was only a couple of us who had other jobs that had won the trip. Most of the people did it as their main focus.
Mm.
So yeah, so it was that a few months later, I got to the point where I thought, you know what, I've got to make a decision here. I'm at a crossroads where I can't grow my business any further in the time that I've
Yeah.
got because I was restricted working 45, 50 hours a week in that job. But I could see that the money was starting to build as my team was building. And I just thought if it's like now or never, take the
Yeah.
risk or lose the chance sort of thing. So I left my job and I just
Wow.
thought, I'm going for it.
And was
I,
there any concerns at that point that you wouldn't make that income back up, or had you got to a stage in your body shop business where you could match it, or did you just go for it and just go, "Yeah,
yeah.
I'm off"?
I know it sounds a bit reckless, doesn't it? I think
I
people
know it does. That's what
think
I
that it was
don't know how
really
you've done that.
crazy. But I think where I was in my business, I knew that I could match what I was earning off my
Yeah.
personal sales. So I had the confidence that I would
No.
book enough parties, I could do daytime events, I could do wellness things, I could do other things in the day that I couldn't do whilst
Yeah.
working, that I knew that I could match my income from my personal selling. And then whatever the team would do would be the sort of the extra.
Yeah.
I always
Very
thought
sensible.
I can rely on myself. I know I can sell these products and I can get the parties and I can get the bookings and the daytime things as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. But obviously as I had more time to focus on it, my team started to build. And then I really had that sort of vision that I was going to build this into being a region.
Yeah.
So at the time in the company, when I, back in that time, it was a very small part of the Body Shop organisation,
Yeah.
and it was, I think there was maybe 10 regional managers, and a lot of those people had been appointed into the role.
Yeah.
As and when people left, someone would take over and what have you. But I kind of saw the conversation plan and thought, I can do this and I want it, so I'm going to go for it. So it was 2015 when I achieved that title. So just for context, that's 7 first level leaders and
Yeah.
40 in the group, and doing over 60,000 group sales.
Yeah.
So that was in 2015. I was the first person that's ever done that in like over 10 years of the company.
Amazing. Amazing.
And it's just that, when you've got a vision and you want to really go for it, it's just kind of sticking your neck out and doing it. And I think it kind of it did pave the way, because once people see that something's achievable, more people started
Yeah,
believing it and wanting it and doing it. And that was then duplicating within my own business, because I was showing people what I was doing and people were believing that they could do it as well because I was doing
yeah,
it. So
yeah,
it kind of, it then, the momentum snowballs.
yeah.
So
And you're so right. This isn't something that everybody can achieve. I mean, it is something everybody can achieve, but I think you have to have a certain something. And I don't know what that thing is. So your journey is very similar to my journey, very similar in the way that you built your business and the way I built mine. And we're very similar in that something.
yeah.
But how do you explain what it is you need? But back in the day, you would have said it was Moxie. I can't think. How do you explain it?
Yeah, I think I don't know, it's like it's that self-belief, isn't it? And that sort of, I don't know, that real drive to
Yeah,
do it. Um,
yeah. You've got
and
to want it, haven't you?
yeah, and it's that being able to take the knocks as well, because it's not an easy road and things happen.
No.
And you think you're getting there, and then something happens. You're nearly there, and then a leader leaves, and then that knocks you back a bit, and then you're nearly there again, and it
Yeah,
happens. And it's being able to kind of, I suppose, look at that in a way of saying, yeah, that's happened, and but how can I
yeah,
prevent that from, well, not prevent it from happening again, but how can I learn from it, and what else do I need to do? And so I never sort of relied on just having a minimum structure, because that is so risky. You've always got to be personally bringing people into the business and
yeah,
developing leaders, because people leave the business for whatever
yeah,
reason. And so you've always got to be doing that, or and sort of filling the funnel at the top, isn't it? As people
yeah,
call
yeah. Absolutely. More customers, more parties, or more sales, more people coming into the team will give you a bigger team, more leaders, more regional managers, more everything, won't it?
yeah, absolutely. So as I was doing what I was doing and building more leaders, I promoted my first regional manager out of my team. So that was obviously the same structure of them having
Yeah.
sort of 14 group leaders, as well as me still having my separate business as well, in 2018. And I became the second person to reach that senior regional manager title, as it was then, with the first person being my upline.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then it got really exciting, because it was growing, but it was organically growing because people wanted it, people believed it. And yeah, it was pretty amazing. And of course,
Yeah.
as the team grew, the income was growing as well, and it completely life changing. And then COVID, it just went absolutely
Mm,
insane, with people joining. And I think got to the point where we had 10 regional managers within my downline business, multi-million in sales. It was incredible. Um, yeah.
yeah.
And then
Absolute crackers. And then,
last year, I had an inkling that I wanted to do a bit more, I think, because I'd achieved all this, and this was all very exciting. But then it's that, where do you go next? And
yeah.
what do you know what I mean? It was
Like, oh
that.
yeah.
So I thought, could I do something else that kind of fits in with it, and something that I enjoy, and something that's my own thing, and could I grow my own business alongside my body shop business? So that's where this kind of idea of Random Panda came about. I really enjoy sending recognition to the team, and I was always looking for things and never quite finding quite what
Yeah.
I started putting things
Yeah.
together myself, and then people were sort of asking me, "Oh, they're nice. Where are you?" And I thought, hang on a minute, I wonder if I could do this for other people as well. So I thought, well, I'll just give it a try. And I wasn't going to have a website or anything like that. And then I thought, no, actually, if I'm doing it, I want to do it properly, and
Yeah. Knowing
I can't
you don't go into
half-heartedly do something. So I spent a lot of time doing sort of research and things before I actually launched it. And then it was kind of ticking along, shall we say, last year. I was doing a bit with it, but obviously my body shop business was my main focus, and I've got a 3-year-old as well, so it's juggling everything. But then, yes, of course, we know what happened in January. Unfortunately, the company closed, which is very sad. And so then I thought, well, gosh, what do you do next? And I thought, well, do I go back into another company? Do I start again with, and I could have done that, but I thought, actually, I'm growing this. It's growing quite nicely. And I just have that, what if I could really make this successful? This is, different to what I've been doing before. It's a different challenge. It's exciting. And I feel like I've learned so much along my journey that I can apply to this, that I just thought, could I make this work and it be my own thing? And so I've got big exciting plans for it. So
you have, and things have changed considerably over the past few months as well, haven't they?
Yes, yeah, definitely. So last year it was quite general, and whereas I've now sort of niched the business specifically towards direct sellers and sort of small businesses, which feels a bit risky in some ways. But then in other ways, I'd already, again, looking at my customer base, and a lot of my customers are in the industry, and that's kind of helped with the messaging, I suppose, and I can really feel like I can give that extra value of my knowledge as well of the industry. So I thought I'm going to go down that road of supporting the direct sellers, and that's going well so far.
Yeah, and I think you're very similar to my journey. I did very much the same thing. I got to a stage in my business, I was like, what's next? What's the next thing? And set up Direct Selling Success. And I could have done the same. I could have gone, I'm going to teach sales to everybody. But I didn't, because I'm passionate about the industry, and I know that if I niche it down, I can have more of an impact on the people I want to make the most impact with.
Yes.
Yours is very similar. It's the recognition gifts, it's those thoughtful little incentives, it's all those things that you can provide with that background knowledge, which will set you apart from going to Amazon and buying it off there and
absolutely
getting the tap from wherever it's coming from. Supporting local business and somebody who understands how to give recognition and what sort of things to give, and has that background. So I think it's a smashing idea. I do. So while you were having this journey, from leaving your job to now, what do you think has been like catalysts along the way to making you successful? What do you think it is, other than that drive? What's helped you, for other people out there thinking help on that?
I think having a plan and a goal, and again, I know this is something that you talk about a lot, but it is really true. I'm quite structured in that way, and I was also able to help a lot of people with that who are perhaps not structured. So I could literally say to them, right, if you do X, Y, and Z, you're going to be able to do this. That's going to earn you this much money. Let's do it. And that worked. It was quite so being able to sort of really simplify the compensation plan and look at it and think, right, what actions do I need to take that are going to get me to where I need to be? Do I need to be focusing more on personal sales? Do I need to be focusing more on bringing in team members, growing leaders? Because there's a lot of plates to spin. To make sure that you kind of hitting all the requirements. So I suppose it's looking at what's the most important to get you to where you need to be and to be earning the money.
Yeah,
that you
so
want to be
looking at
earning
those
as well.
figures and looking at the where everything is in your business, so you know what's going on in your business, so you can work on the things that need. Yeah.
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 Absolutely. It's no good helping everybody else if you're not going to hit your personal sales to get paid on your business. So if you're struggling on personal sales, that needs to be absolutely your number one priority. Because if you're not selling, you know, you can't do everything for everybody.
No.
And then I suppose it's looking at sort of how you can work smarter. I mean, it's, again, these days with the Zooms and things, it's so different to when I first started out with it.
Yeah.
But if you can have the impact on a group of people, you know, you could spend all your days doing one-to-ones every day, you know, and it's not necessarily going to get you the impact that you know, I'm not saying that one-to-ones don't have their place, but I became quite, I suppose I had this expectation of a match commitment with people having one-to-ones.
Yeah.
You know, because if you were spending your time like coaching people and working with them, and then, you know, there'd be some actions to take, and then you have a follow-up and they've not done it, I'd be like, well, there's not really any point of us having another session, because, you know,
You've not done the thing.
Yeah. So, and I know that, again, it can feel a bit harsh, but I think you've got to be realistic with your time and spending it where it's best spent, really, isn't it? And
yeah, absolutely.
And helping the people that want the help, but also that are going to do the do.
Yeah, too right. Absolutely. And that's where the group programs then come in, because then you can support all the people.
Yes.
And when they are putting the action in, then they can take it further with you. And that is how it should be. Absolutely.
And people, you know, buddy up with each other, and they
can,
you know, sort of all do each other along. So that really does work when working with a small group of motivated people. Everybody wants to achieve together, I think.
Yeah. And you're very much like me in valuing collaboration and networking.
Yes.
To build a business.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is, again, kind of goes through, you know, when I look at everything I've done in my sort of careers, and you say, well, what's the success of how do you, you know, because if I go back to my journalism, I was very good. I'm a very good journalist. I was award winning at university. I was Young Reporter of the Year.
Wow.
I know. So I'm blowing my own trumpet here. I don't really often talk about this, but
you should do though. It's massive.
And then you think, well, what is it that kind of, and then obviously I went on to grow the business, and like you say, what is the thing? But I think it's that being able to build relationships with people and being genuine and having that trust with people as well, is what is that kind of winning combination, I suppose. You know, how did I get the scoops? Because I knew the people. I made the effort to get to know people and understand them and have empathy and all those things, so that when there was a scoop to be had, I was the first person they would phone and say, you need to be covering this.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that and again, going through, so when people said, gosh, it's so different going from the journalism to going into doing Body Shop, I was like, I actually don't think it is that different. I think it's the key skill of it is the relationship building and the networking, which I've done all my life, I suppose.
Yeah, it is that connection and collaboration. Yeah, the selling bit is probably slightly different, but I suppose in journalism you've got to sell just the same in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not, you know, not selling a product in that way, but you is sort of selling yourself to be the one that people want to talk to and and tell their story to. So there's definitely an element of that, but you perhaps wouldn't see it in that way.
No, and I think people don't see the transferable skills. Think, oh, I can't sell. People, you hear it all the time, and you'll have had it, you know, when you're talking to people about joining a business. I can't sell.
Yeah.
I'm no good with tech. I can't do, you know, and actually it's not about selling. And I hate the phrase, the product sells itself. with a passion. It does up to a point, but you've still got to talk about it, and you've still got to market it, and you've still got to, you know, close the sale. But actually, if you are good at building relationships, if you are good at connecting with other people, I think
Yeah.
that's the key to massive success in this industry.
Being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
So I think
Or willing to learn.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things that that I always, you know, I suppose it's that listening. I always think that listening is as important or more important than talking, in the sense of getting to know people, you know. So how do you become a top recruiter in the industry? It's about being able to understand the other person and offer them what they need. You know, if I was saying to somebody, you know, oh, this is going to be fantastic, it fits around your kids, you can do this, and what have you, because it fits around me and my life, and that's my circumstances. If that person hasn't got children, they're going to be thinking, well, that's not for me. So you've got to understand the other person and then kind of pitch it to them to suit what they're looking for.
To solve their problems.
Exactly. And to do it in a, you know, try not to go on too much. I think this is another thing that people could spend an hour telling you about how fantastic the business is and how you place an order and how you can do this and you can get this free and you can go on trips and you can do it, whatever. They don't need to know all that. You know,
nope.
This could be, you know, 10 minutes of telling someone from first speaking to them to getting them to sign up is enough time, I believe, if people are genuinely interested and want to do it.
Yeah, it solves this problem. It's going to be amazing for you because this is what it's all about, and this is how you sign up, and this is how we get you started. Bam. No, that's about it, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, took me a long time to learn that, though.
Yeah, and that's it. Again, it's a skill, isn't it? It's a learning, and but you do kind of. I think it's important as a business owner to look at what in an analytical way of why did that work and why has that not worked and how can I tweak this, and I think being open to constructive criticism. If somebody was to say, well, what are you saying to somebody? All right, tell me how you would say it. And if I was then to say to you, well, maybe try this and this, it's not to think, oh my God, I'm terrible at this, and to go away and, you know, be, you know, really offended or hurt, but actually to think, do you know what, I'm going to try that's a good idea, I'll try that next time, and being open to trying new things.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. So thinking about your transition from network marketer, direct seller into having your own business, and I know you've got your own business when you were in the direct sales, but it's very different, isn't it? Very different. What do you think has helped you with that transition?
Well, I think I've learned a lot of business skills, obviously, with running a business. I hadn't run a business before the Body Shop, but I've learned so much about everything from growing a business to even things like tax and all that sort of side of things of a business. And you know, I'm looking at things like money and profit and, you know, how to leverage your time and all this sort of thing. But I think one of the things as well is the confidence that I've gained throughout the business, and that sort of belief in myself, that I thought, you know, I am going to back myself again because it's kind of worked for me so far. And in some ways, I'm not really woo-woo, but in the how things have occurred and happened, I feel like I'd already set this up as a sideline, and then this has happened, and this is kind of like propelling me into doing this different thing. It's taking me in this new direction. So yeah,
because it's so weird. Like mine and your journey is parallel, because I was exactly the same. I'd set this up, and then within a year, my company had gone, and it was like fate. And you feel, and I'm not woo either, you just feel like this was meant to be. This is where I'm going. And it does give you that confidence. And the things that I learned through being in direct sales, there's no way I would have ever thought to do something like I'm doing now.
Yeah.
There's no way I would have ever had the confidence to start my own business if I
Yeah.
hadn't have had direct selling to start me off and give me that. It was like a business with a safety blanket.
Yes. Yes.
It's the only way I can explain it, but I've always wanted to run my own business, yet never been brave enough to invest in stock or have a building or business rates or have to worry about money.
Yes.
It started off like you, oh, it's just to earn a little bit of extra cash. This is great. And then
Yeah.
built into something that led
Yes.
me gently into running a business with support above me and around me and to the
Yes.
sides and people and
Yeah.
yeah. And then to go off and do it on our own,
Yeah.
not that much different, really, is it?
No, and I quite like I feel like I'm more in control of, like, I'm making all the decisions and stuff as well. So that I am enjoying that side of things.
Yeah, I felt more, and I still feel more responsible.
Yes.
There's a lot more responsibility on my
Yeah.
shoulders to make this work by myself.
Yes.
A lot more things you've got to think about.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But it definitely stands you in good stead to go out and do anything you want to do, whether that is to stay in direct sales, go to a different company,
Absolutely.
go off on your own, get a full-time job with that experience as a your what do you call it? You know, when you've got, it's been so long since I've gone for an interview,
Yes.
background for your CV stuff, yeah,
Yeah.
references and things, yeah.
And I think one of the important things to remember when, for everyone who's watching who's in direct sales, is that building a personal brand is really important as well as building,
Yes.
obviously you're a representative of your company, which is great. But it is, people do buy from you, and there's a reason that they buy from you over buying from somebody else who sells the same product. So personal branding, I think, is important.
Yeah,
Well,
definitely, especially in an industry that, people do chop and change what they do.
yeah,
I've seen people hop from one company to another company to another company. People will buy from you if they like, know, and trust you. Doesn't matter what you're selling.
yes,
It really doesn't. And I used to have people say to me, "God, do you know what? You could sell anything to anybody." I'm like, "Yeah, because I'm me, and you're buying from me, and you're buying into me,
yes,
rather than buying the product."
yes.
So, yeah, I think definitely very, very good tip.
Mm.
Yeah, very good advice.
And that's why I think when going through life, you're always networking with people, you're always meeting people, you want to leave a good impression with people. You never know how things are going to,
Yeah.
what's going to happen in the future, So,
Yeah. And you don't know who they know.
yeah,
They might not be
absolutely.
the person that's going to buy from you. It might be, their mate down the road or whatever.
Mm.
So yeah, definitely. Good impressions all round, stand out from the crowd and be yourself, not your brand.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being my guest today. It's been a
Thank you
lovely
for
chat
having
here.
me.
Do you want to tell everybody where they can find you?
Yes. So you can find me on Facebook. I have a page which is Random Panda. And I also have a Facebook group if you want to come into my group, which is called Random Panda, helping network marketers to grow your business. So
Brilliant. One last question. Why Random Panda?
people always ask me this. So the panda is my nickname, being Amanda Panda. So, and the random part of it, because when it started off, there's such a variety of products, and I feel like it does give the scope to kind of have anything. And I suppose, it still is with the variety, from the letterbox gifts and the recognition to things like the display stands and sample pots and packaging and all sorts of stuff. It is quite if you were looking at it, I think this is a odd collection of products
Random.
to yeah, random. But they're all useful to the network marketers. So that's the
Yeah.
thing, isn't it? It's not really for everybody. And if people stumbled across it who's not in the industry, they might think, what is this? out. But if you're in the industry, people are going, oh my God, this is everything I buy all in one place. And I'm like,
yeah, and it is. It really
that's
is.
the idea. So hopefully it can grow and we can have more variety and
And more randomness.
yeah.
Love it. I had to ask. I knew everybody would want to know. Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for being my guest today, Amanda.
Thank you
And
for having me.
thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you soon.